All right. So what do you want to hear at Hocus Pocus with Mr. Paul Gross? What would you like to tell us about this wall you're standing in front of?
This wall was part of the Magic Castle dining room, and if you've ever been to the dining room, you've walked past this wall thousands of times. I mean, when you think about all the guys who could have walked past this wall, touched the wall, leaned against the wall could talk, we always say. But this to us is the Great Wall of Magic right here. And when they had the fire a few months ago, they remodeled the dining room, which sustained a lot of water damage, and they removed this wall, actually 2 panels. And I was fortunate enough that Milt Larson contacted me and asked me if there was anything I wanted. And when I saw the picture of the wall, I definitely had to have it. So now here it rests at Hocus Pocus in our soon-to-be club room here.
Fantastic. So the Magic Club room. This wall will inaugurate the first meeting of which magic group?
It's the Fresno Magic Club, and they've been an active club here for several years, but they've kind of been nomads. They've gone to pizza places, different places, and they keep getting kicked out because, you know, nobody wants them to be there for more than a couple of visits. And since we took over this building, we decided to give them access to this I think it's the second Thursday of every month they meet. So they'll be meeting here now. And it doesn't look like much now, it's kind of in disarray, but soon it'll be organized. This will be tables, and they can meet and socialize and perform for one another.
That looks cool.
The accounting side of it.
All right, so Betty Gross, Paul's adorable wife, who has been working in magic how long?
About 10 years.
10 years. And what do you like the best about magic?
I love watching it.
Oh, fantastic. And your job at Hocus Pocus?
Just a little bit of everything.
What's the most interesting thing that's happened recently at Hocus Pocus in terms of maybe a purchase or a transaction or?
Would be our antique magic. All the new things coming in that are used. We have some beautiful things that you just don't see every day. So that would be the best part.
If that's the reason why you said it, and he just looked at me and goes, "Come out flying, boy!" You know how he talks.
What a character, huh?
We used to take Carl to lunch. We would swap meet twice a year, and he would meet us at Musso and Frank's, and I'd have like 10 guys, 20 guys. I don't know how many guys we used to have.
Yeah.
And I'd put him at the head of the table, and he could tell you. He was sharp as a tack, that guy. He could tell you everything. He was so hilarious, and all the waiters knew him. They gave him a bad time. And then when he'd go to the Magic Castle with it, you know, it would be kind of neat because you'd be walking down the halls and, is that Carl Valentine? Yeah, they thought he was dead. You know.
Yeah.
Can I talk to him? Yeah, Carl. This man would like to talk, and he just, you know, he'd sit there and talk to him, and it was just, it's like with Mark and Nani go. It's the same deal.
He was a big star to most people from McHale's Navy.
Oh yeah,
Carl
That and then all
Valentine.
that. Look at if you Google him, it'll bring up. He was on every major television show in the 60s and 70s. Love American Style. Bob Newhart show,
Major
the Cosby
character.
Show.
Because he was an actor as well as a magician.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he was probably the first substantial comedy magician I ever saw growing up.
I think
you know,
that's
in that
probably true.
genre, right when I was getting into it.
He told a
Yeah.
story when he was in the movie with Elvis Presley, and he said I came out of my trailer, And he said, then there was a beautiful Cadillac right out in front of the trailer. And he's, you know how he talked. And he goes, who the hell does it belong to? And he says, Elvis Presley came out, and he got in the car, and he says, I just stood there, and he goes, Mr. Valentine, you like this car? Oh, yeah, I love this car. It's a beautiful car, you know. He said, I bet you'd like to have a car like this, wouldn't you? And he goes, yeah. He says, the next day he gave him a brand new Cadillac.
Come on.
And he said, if I'd have known.
Did that a lot.
And he said, if I would have known what a big star he would have been, I'd have kept the car and I sold it today. He kept the car and drove it until he finally, you know, he gave Cadillacs away all the time. That was his
Wow.
thing.
Yeah, that was the thing he did.
There was a dealership there in Memphis that he'd go in and buy 5-6 Cadillacs at a time. If you did a favor, like there was a story about he had problems with his throat and he had to open at the Hilton, and he went to a doctor and the doctor did something and made him well, and the next day there was a brand new Cadillac. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what he did.
You like that.
All right, so what do you want
I
to...
gave somebody a thumb tip once.
It's not what you do. It's not not the
Well,
gift,
there
it's the
you
thought.
go.
It was a really nice one. Okay, here's... another book. This is the original. It's a little chewed up, but he was a friend of mine.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
Yeah.
And worked forever. I mean,
Yes.
saw him. He came through Fresno and did the trade show. Trade show, and I went.
Please take a look. Yeah, just another
passerby.
multiplying. I had a gig for
Wow.
that liquor company there, so got to customize the labels for all of
Yeah. Good looking.
them. And more pictures. This thing's kind of cool. I think this is another Kikuchi
I
thing.
used to carry that, the pyramid.
Yeah, fire pyramid. And then this is me back way back when. This is the 7,000 square foot space magic museum that we had in downtown San Jose. This is my first performing partner, Circus Susie. I performed with for 6 years. This is around the era when I performed for your Stars of Magic show.
Wow.
And the reason I was in that show is because I won the PCAM for most novel effect, which was doves to goldfish. And so this is the conclusion of the Dove Act that I did in that show that year. I think it was 86 or something like that. And this is a product that I would like to possibly sell or talk to you about.
You ought to put it out.
Well, I couldn't think of anybody else to put it out except for you guys. So I wanted to offer it to you to think about.
Yeah, we do this all the time. I mean, we partnered up with a lot. Well, like with Mark and Nani Wilson, we put out their products. With John Calvert, we put out the Spirit Cabinet Casper. With Chef Anton, Whit Hayden and Chef Anton, we put the teleportation, the trade show shells were ours. Robert Bax, we've done numerous.
Yeah.
Well, I have
Newspaper
a few items. I know it's all going to be about the bottom line, how many units you would need, how it would sell, how much the
Right.
advertising for certain products is compared to others. I could see this particular product as a unique offering that would be an exclusive to you, but probably only make a few units a year, something like that. And it would
Is it
have a
complicated?
It's not that complicated. It takes some plastic cement work. It's basically, it looks like it's going to be a vanishing dove cage, and the whole thing turns around under the cover of the cloth. And there's a way just to make it totally simple where the assistant does it, or to put it on the Lazy Susan on a table. And then when you whip the cloth away, it's a lit up aquarium with real fish in it and bubbles and lights. So that's why everybody at the PCAM in 19, whatever year that was, 85, I think, I won the prize. They're, oh, here's this kid gonna vanish the aquarium, you know, or the dove
doves.
cage, right?
And
then you
nuts.
pull the thing off and it's just a
Wow.
fish tank with real fish in it. That was my claim to fame back in the day.
Very
and
cool.
so in order to protect the copyright, I had it published in this French magic magazine. And at one point, I don't know if you guys ever remember Colin Cochran.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he made me an offer on it, but I wasn't.
He opened a store. He left the Bay Area and he opened a store in Oakhurst, California.
All right.
And it was a combination magic shop, gift shop, all kind of things. And my not my current wife, but my ex-wife I divorced, she moved to Oakhurst, and my daughters lived with her. So I would take my daughters, and they told me there's a magic shop there. So I went in, and he was there. He was a shyster.
Oh, a real character. I knew him for years up in the Bay Area.
And he ended up,
magic shops.
he's dead now. He
The
ended
flea
up,
markets. He is?
he ended up,
Oh.
Alzheimer's disease.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And he ended up living in, this is the really bizarre thing, we moved my grandmother to I don't want to say a rest home because it's not, it's one of those.
Adult.
Yeah,
Care
senior
facility.
living.
Assisted living.
And-
Yeah, assisted living.
And he was there. He was, when I was there visiting my grandmother, they were actually checking him in. I went up and talked to him, he didn't remember who I was.
I asked Paul Gross, who obviously loves magic, why he stopped performing. What would make a magician stop performing magic shows and just enjoy all of the various interesting props and things we have instead? Is it possible to still feel fulfilled? And with that, he tells us his experience of his last professional magic show. And I think you'll find this experience a little disappointing. Disappointing. Disappointing.
Drunk, and they had an open bar, and here's my act. I'm here, and right here is a bar, and it was free drinks. So they weren't just getting one drink, they were getting armfuls of drinks. When I'm doing my show, they're walking, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you while you're going up to get drunk. And so they were so unbelievably drunk, they were just out of it, and they were talking amongst themselves. It wouldn't matter if I lit myself on fire, it wouldn't matter to them. They didn't care one way or the other. And I walked out, and I packed up my stuff, and I said, I got to take a break. That was the last show I did,
And that was 10 years ago?
10 years ago. Yeah.
Well, that's not exactly ending on a high note, is it?
Well, when my kids went to school, I did magic shows at their school, and I've got a grandson now, brand new grandson, so I'm sure that birthday parties in school come up and I'll do things there. But as far as going out entertaining anymore, I love to watch magic, and I love what I do, but that's enough for me. Yeah, the entertaining part, I'm just not going to do anymore.